It's time for the news review segment where we get to go into a conversation on some of the topical issues dominating the media space. And we ask for you to join us with your thoughts, your comments, and contributions. The show is interactive. Do send us your thoughts via WhatsApp number on your screens. Engage us on our social media. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. We're interactive. We're engaging on X and on Instagram. We have some exclusive video content for you on TikTok as well. So do best to follow us, like, subscribe, share. All right. Grateful for your time this morning. Let me say good morning to Engineer Michael Kosi Dede. Engineer.
Good morning, Nana.
It's good to have you.
Good to see you too.
Very well.
That's started the fugu.
Yeah. You know, as Ghanaians, we always forget what is ours until something happens elsewhere to trigger it. But better late than never.
Good.
So yes, we are going with the vibe. We're going with the flow. But it actually feels good. Do you own one?
I do. I have about 3 or 4.
Oh, wonderful.
I've had one for many years.
Wow, it actually feels good being in it. Yeah. Well, we have a number of issues to unpack this morning. We'll begin with the National Democratic Congress, NDC. Their recently held parliamentary primary in Ayawaso East, fraught with a lot of allegations of voter inducement, vote buying, and the likes. The party subsequently instituted a committee to investigate these allegations. The majority caucus called for an annulment of the election in its entirety due to the magnitude of the allegations, the widespread allegations of vote buying. The president recalled Baba Jamal as the High Commissioner to Nigeria based on same allegations. But after the party presented, or the committee presented its findings to the party, and despite the party telling us that the committee recommended an annulment of the election, the party says it is unable to and has therefore cleared Baba Jamal as to contest as its candidate for the upcoming by-election. The reasons ascribed have to do with timelines, that they are time constraints, and also they reference their constitution saying there's no clause that provides for an annulment in this matter. My question is, were they not aware of the timelines given by the EC, and they did not have an understanding of their own constitution before starting the investigation? What were they expecting to happen?
It's an interesting question, and based on the background you have provided, I have seen a few of the video clips, but they don't tell the full story.
Yeah.
But I think that in the press statement, the General Secretary clearly acknowledged that there was something not right.
Indeed.
About the process.
Yes.
So clearly, and he says all the candidates were involved
Yes.
in that process. So the NDC, by that, has admitted that there was a wrongdoing or something not right about the process. But the same party then says that we are unable, or we consider political expediency above acting properly. So we are clearing the candidates to contest. So that sends a contradictory message. One, you acknowledge that something is not right. And I would have thought that the NDC, having this kind of majority it has in parliament, has the best of opportunities to say that we are going to wipe the slate clean and ensure that things improve. But clearly, they think that political expediency is better under the circumstances. And I think it's a message to all Ghanaians. And to all the delegates who said, look, if you don't give us money, we will not contest, we will not vote. It also confirms their position.
True.
Because clearly the politicians said, look, with the money given, yes, it's not even in our constitution. I mean, it is to say that, or then on what basis did he say it was not right? Because if you say something is not right, constitutions don't, our party constitution don't spell out those things. It's only talking about how to manage the party and protect the interest of the party.
Yeah.
But if we look at the larger interest of the country, are these things that we should be doing? Clearly, I think that the NDC has shot itself in the foot. And I don't think they have done themselves any good. Now again, immediately the allegations came up. There was a notice from the president's office. And I call it PR. Oh, the president has withdrawn Baba Jamal Because there are rumors that the lady is also a member of a board. If true, why is she also not being held responsible? Or why was her appointment not suspended or anything like that? So clearly, what is going to happen to that notice that came from the president's office showing that we are not going to tolerate such behavior? Because clearly the party has admitted that it did happen. And the president says, because of these allegations, I am recalling this person. So is the person fit to be an MP with these allegations that the party itself has admitted did happen? These are questions. So I think that we need to be careful the way we go about things. And I don't, so far, the political parties are still not showing any commitment to doing what is right. Because if Baba Jamal does get elected, what happens to the ongoing investigation by the OSP? Are we going to see parliamentary immunity being used to stall the process? Where every day you want him to come, he says, I'm on my way to parliament. I'm returning for parliament. I'm doing government business. These are the things that we need to be minded about. The import of what the NDC has done now doesn't speak well. And I would want to see what the president has to say, because they issued a statement.
Well, the president's business is to deal with his appointees.
Yes.
And then the party's business is to deal with aspirants or candidates. So the president has dealt with his appointee to Nigeria and recalled him. However, you mentioned the rumors about Haji Amina also being on a board. That we have not heard anything towards so far.
So, but again, the president is still the leader of the NDC, at the moment. Has he not got any influence in the party? Can you not say that, look, this is my position on this matter. I don't want to entertain people who act badly based on their own code of ethics and all the documents they came up with. And this person is going to represent the party and my government, for that matter. I don't want this to happen. But hey, this is where we are. So I think that the NDC, in spite of the initial signs they threw out there that, we are going to address issues, it doesn't look like they are going to. And I want to see how, if Baba Jamal does win, I want to see how his colleagues in parliament are going to respond to him.
Especially the majority caucus.
The majority caucus, exactly.
Who called for an annulment of his election as candidate.
And why are they not still insisting? Why are they still not insisting? And for me, these are worrying trends. Because we can't say one thing and act differently. If we mean well, let us pursue that. And I say again that the NDC with its majority had the best of opportunities. There are ways to go around this thing. You can decide, look, it's been annulled. You can find, I don't believe that the NDC cannot find other candidates. I don't believe it can do that. Worst case scenario, you can encourage somebody and support somebody to stand as independent if time is an issue. So I don't think that they have done well for themselves. And the reset that they promised us doesn't look like it.
On the bit about the president, do you think he was consulted before the party came out with their decision on the investigation committee's report?
I don't have any information.
Since he's the leader of the party.
I don't know. But again, this is a worrying sign that if the president says this and his intentions are this, and clearly the party says no, then it's a worrying thing. That the president, what the president says doesn't matter.
Does it suggest if you like, a seeming internal leadership squabble?
Well, I haven't done any thinking into it, but we need the evidence to support that if there's any internal squabble. But I'm saying that based on the actions and what came out from the presidency, there seems to be no commitment to doing what is right. Unless the presidency can come out and say, we still do not support this position and this is our position. Then we can say that then there is some disconnect within the party which may be leading to some leadership struggles. But as it is, I have no evidence to support that.
It's informative you mentioned the OSP's investigation. I actually hadn't averted my mind to what will happen should Baba Jamal eventually become MP.
Yes.
And what becomes of the investigations of him. But let's extend the conversation. MPP just came out of his presidential primary. There were allegations of vote buying same way. We came out of 2024 general elections. We heard the same. OSP did not tell us he was investigating the NPP until the NDC one happened. And then it issued a statement and added the NPP into it. Organizations like Transparency International never mentioned anything about the NPP's primary. But just when Ayawaso East happened, they've issued a statement. Are we playing the ostrich in this country?
Well, that is an interesting thing, because again, it's important that state institutions that are seeking to enforce laws or to act in the interest of the public or the state must show some level of consistency. Maybe it was an oversight. If it was, maybe by the sudden incidents or their engagement with the NDC, they realized that, hey, if we don't put out the statement that we are investigating the NPP too, then it doesn't help. So I can forgive them for that.
But can this oversight be pardoned? Because
it can be pardoned if they can show the evidence that they began this process long ago. It can be pardoned if they can show documents that, look, we have interviewed this person, we've interviewed this person. It can be pardoned. But I think that it raises questions, legitimate questions. But I think that they can be pardoned if they can show evidence that, look, we have interviewed people from the NPP about these issues already, and these are the records of our interviews. I think that they can be pardoned for that.
Let's deal with the problem itself: vote buying, monetization of our politics. How do we end this?
For me, it begins with those who offer themselves to serve. If you offer yourself to serve truly, then it should not be a do or die issue, where if I don't win, then I've lost everything. Because that desperation compels you then to act in improper ways. But you see clearly that people are desperate to serve. So the voters are asking themselves, why are people so desperate to serve?
Yeah.
If people are so desperate to serve and they are willing to offer things, then why shouldn't I take it? So I think that it begins first with those who offer themselves to serve. They must show integrity in that process. The voters may say, but this is what has been happening all the years. How come you are not giving? Or how come this time none of you is giving? In that circumstances, they are still compelled to make a choice.
Yeah.
But if we go in there with the mindset that we must win, then it raises questions about the purpose for which we want to serve in itself. And for me, the voters are only capitalizing on it. Again, the history in the Fourth Republic has shown them clearly that politicians continuously benefit from being in office. I mean, if we look at the history of our Fourth Republic, that is why there's a scramble for political office all the time. Because people then see that, people are willing to offer motorbikes. People are willing to pay so much. So the delegates see this as a way of also getting their bid before the people go into office. Because once the people go into office, they don't pay calls anymore. They don't respond to them. So the delegates are also beginning to see that this is what happens. And they are responding accordingly. So I think it begins with those who offer themselves for office. Now, people have also said, let's look at the system, the delegate system, and allow any card-bearing member expand the delegates base. I say that for me, that doesn't solve the problem if we don't deal with the people offering themselves for office. Because it simply means that the one with the larger purse will get more influence, has an advantage over those who have a lower purse. So for me, that doesn't solve the problem. We need to deal with those offering themselves for office. How we control them, because they are smaller, we can control them. A party can control 5-10 people contesting for to become aspiring MPs. We can control those. But the hundreds or 200,000 delegates is difficult to control. So we can monitor those people and see how they behave. Once any of them fails their accountability, we kick them out of the process. So for me, it begins with controlling those people who offer themselves for office. What is their declared income? Where are they getting funding from? Or how do we control even the process? For me, internally with the party, I think that the parties have better control. Where the people don't need to go out and raise any funds. You simply say that this is a constituency election. These are the delegates. We will offer 5 platforms for you to campaign. End of story. If we see you giving anything or hear of anything we investigate and find it, you are out.
So internal structures to deal with it.
Is what should deal with it. But this idea that we are going to expand the delegates base alone will not solve it. We have 5-10 people contesting for a position. It is easier to control those 10 people or 5 people than to try and deal with 200,000 people. No. So let's look at that properly. And say that these people who are contesting are supposed to declare assets, or we know their income base. we know who are supporting them, maybe even financially. Or we as a party can decide that there should be no financial from the candidates themselves. The party will provide a platform.
But does the party have the money to do that?
The parties have, because if we are supposed to be paying dues, and the NDC has 200,000 people or so, how many people voted at the constituency level?
This one had about 1,300.
1,300. Assuming each of these people was paying even 1 CD every month, can the NDC not sponsor candidates, platforms? Simply create a platform for them to sell their message. Why they think they are the best candidates to be MP? I mean, I don't think that
can the candidates be given a quota that if you're going to contest, pay this amount to the party will use same to organize the.
That is also another option. But I don't think that the parties can say they don't have money. I think that, you see, unless our party members are not paying dues, which is one of the widespread issues, people are not paying dues. So if people are paying dues, and the NDC has over 1 million people, the MPP has over 1 million people, then there's no way the party can say they cannot fund things like platforms for the candidates to campaign.
For constituency elections.
It is not possible. So I think that the parties themselves must show interest in addressing these problems within the party. But they are clearly not interested, because you hear presidential candidates saying that it is about sharing the spoils of war. When you hear presidential aspirants talking about sharing the spoils of war, it must tell us that we're in a very bad state.
Promising heaven on earth.
Exactly. So it means that once we win power, we share the wealth of Ghana among ourselves. I mean, that is not right. When people say that when I win every constituency, I appoint 10 people. I mean, where is this coming from? I mean, it brings me to the fact that if you look at our public service today, over the last 10 or 15 years, there have been recruitments. How many advertisements for recruitment into public service have we seen in the papers? So our politicians simply come in and pack people into all these offices in the name of creating jobs. So our whole public service has become so inefficient and the waste of the nation's resources, because people are not recruited based on competence.
Party
affiliations. So you go to all our state institutions and it's all about party. So all our state institutions are virtually collapsing because it's filled with party loyals. So everybody is fighting the other within the state institution. So for me, these are things that our politicians might begin to sit down and look and question and say, are we helping the state to promote accountability within this nation?
Right. So we've looked at the ways of curbing this particular menace, and we've looked at the voter base, expanding the voter base or the delegate system, which you don't agree to.
No, I don't think that solves the problem.
We've looked at the internal structures and internal reforms to address this matter. Can we look at the legal regime around campaign financing, on even raising sponsorship to fund campaigns, and say the EC? Can we give it more biting powers? Because as it stands now, per the laws, even political parties are supposed to submit their audited accounts to the EC. But I don't think any of them have done that.
So for me, every time anything happens, we are quick to say, let's make new laws. The current Political Parties Act gives the EC authority to look into the finances of political parties. It's spelled out there in the Act as to who can fund and all those limits. They are defined in the Political Parties Act. So for me, no political party or the EC has no excuse to say we cannot check the excesses of political parties. We can simply go around and even count the billboards that political parties have put up. And know, because we know how much those billboards cost. And then look at the audited accounts that the political parties have presented to you.
That is if they have presented it.
Exactly. And begin to query them. Then look, you say you spend so much on campaign, but I have counted billboards. These billboards cost so much. The adverts that you put out in the media, they cost so much. So how can you present these audited accounts to us? And then begin to query even the auditors themselves.
Yeah.
You see, because we are not interested in building systems of accountability. That is what I see. So even the EC, so that's why I tell you that state institutions all over the country are collapsing. Because even the EC is not interested. Because if the EC was interested, you simply pick up the Political Parties Act and begin to look at all these things in there. Funding, your accounts, have you presented them? If you have presented them, the EC goes around and counts billboards, adverts that you made. It clearly there's a mismatch.
It
doesn't tally. And begin to question issues. Then those auditors who signed those documents, you query them.
Right.
But we are not interested in fighting corruption. So the whole government machinery and everything has been turned into one cycle of corruption over and over. And it's not helping the state. And I think that we need to take an interest in that.
Indeed. Dr. Ezekiel Ejekum Obeng is a member of the MPP's National Communications team. Doc, good morning and welcome.
Very good morning.
It's good to see you. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
In fact, the whole of this year, right?
Yes, the whole of the year.
So happy New Year to you.
Many happy returns. Many happy returns, and good morning too.
Good morning.
I'm senior man.
Your brothers in the NDC went into a primary last Saturday. Now, allegations of vote buying came. The party instituted an investigative committee. The committee submitted its report, but the party says it is unable to annul the elections due to time constraints and, if you like, the absence of provision in its constitution to annul an election on that scale. What are your thoughts?
Ordinarily, that's NDC's primaries, and it's their internal issues. So really, it has nothing to do with me and the MPP.
You're not interested in what happens in your neighbor's house?
I would just be a good person and listen to the advice of Prof. Mills.
And do fiasem.
Do fiasem. So ordinarily, it really doesn't bother us much. But once it's a public issue, then clearly we can give our assent on it. Of course, an issue of elections and electioneering, machinery, vote buying and whatnot, really it's been a topical issue over the years to be discussed, and the effects thereof. And clearly sometimes people with deep pockets try to mask the whole process with monies to prevent actual, legitimate people that sometimes we believe they have the prerequisite experiences and the knowledge to be elected onto certain positions. So aside that, and the creeping incident of monetization of our democracy, which had become the order of the day, clearly those are the issues that we all as a people and as a country, we need to come together to find lasting solutions to those problems. However, whatever the NDC did in and around this issue is one that we all knew. We all knew the end from the start.
You knew?
We all knew the end from the start. We all knew nothing was going to come out of it. Nothing, absolutely nothing. From the presidency, the letter they issued, to the party general secretary's letter they issued.
Baba Jamal has been recalled as High Commissioner.
It was, clearly. After winning the primaries, was he ever going to go back to Nigeria?
You don't think so?
When was the primaries held?
On Saturday.
Which date?
7th.
And the elections is when?
March 3rd.
So less than a month. So you're expecting Baba Jamal, after winning an election on the night of 7th January, go back to Nigeria, sit in his office, become an ambassador for Ghana to Nigeria, sit in his office and come back on the 2nd of March for the elections on the 3rd of March. He was never going to go back.
But he contested against an opponent who didn't even step out.
He was never going to go back.
But had a campaign machinery doing it.
He was never going to go back to Nigeria. Clearly, he wasn't going to go back to Nigeria. But the presidency, as usual, as modus operandi of this administration, settings and packaging.
You think so?
So president has recalled him from his duty and whatnot, and because of what? Allegations of bribery and corruption during the elections.
The president launched a code of conduct for public officers when he
That is where people had issues with that communique.
And as an appointee,
aside the PR gimmick, what really did that communique seek to address? Because there were allegations all over. Not to single anyone out, but we were told someone who was duly contesting for the position also was serving on public boards. Not just one, not just two, 3 public boards. And that same person has also admitted that whatever he gave the electorate was to facilitate their movement to the polling station. So yes, if Baba Jamal gave Koscielny Moko, someone else also gave something to the delegate. And the person is also serving on public boards. The person who gave Koscielny Moko, we are asking him not to return to his post. But the person who also gave something to delegate and later admitted that those things I gave were to facilitate their movement, that person is left to serve on the boards. Where lies the principle? It was a clear PR gimmick, and as usual, people who are always bystanders to push government PR games on social media and traditional media took to social media and traditional media to the president has recalled, the president is showing leadership, the president is doing what, but it clearly backfired. There was no need. So? There was no need for that communique.
Really?
Tell me why you recall someone from Lagos or Abuja, and you leave the person who is serving on 3 boards, who has also been indicted in same act to serve. Well, that's the principle. So clearly, we all knew from the start that yes, the General Secretary's statement, whatever came from Parliament, majority caucus, and what the presidency said, it was much ado about nothing. And this process has been smooth and very, very speedy.
We haven't seen a caucus, especially a majority caucus, with the numbers that they have, take such an action before, or even a position like this.
And like their regional organizer said, they don't even have locus.
Really?
To even call for an annulment of an election. Something certified by electoral commission. So majority can decide for a party what the party needs to do, something that has gone through a normal electoral process. You remember Zenato's case? Where did they end up? It was the court that decided, even though it was an internal process. It was a matter of the court. Even if NDC had annulled the elections, Baba Jamal had every opportunity and every right to go to the court to seek redress.
Then the NDC would have absorbed itself from whatever it is. So then it's a court decision, not the party.
NDC knew they didn't have the locus from the start. Pentimaminto, that's what they were doing.
Really?
Let's just put something out there for the public to know that yes, we don't countenance these things. No one countenance these things. But we all knew from the start that if there was anything wrong, if there was anything wrong with the process, it wasn't up to the NDC to resolve those processes. You can put up mechanisms as a party to keep those things moving forward. But to sit back, do your own investigation and say that I've annulled such process. Clearly, you all knew nothing was going to come up. And I'm not surprised that in the end, these things came up. And there's another school of thought that also states that there's a clear, fighting in the party.
Let me say good morning to Hamza Suhini.
Oh, if I will just wrap up.
Let me say good morning. He's listening to you, so
yes.
Let's welcome him and say good morning to you. He's a member of the NDC's communications team. Hamza, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good
morning to my colleagues.
Very well. Doc, please.
The issues of internal wranglings in the party. There's a school of thought that Baba Jamal belongs to the General Mosquitoes camp.
I thought you said in your opening remark that you are sitting or somewhere minding your business.
So once it's
how
up,
do you know what is
once
happening
it's up, we are just soliciting ideas and commentaries from all quarters. And once we are here, you've asked me to speak on the issue. Like I said, and can me if you ask him. But you brought it up. And an aspect of this whole process borders on our elections and democracy and our future and monetization and all the things we've spoken about.
Right.
The ills around elections in this country. So yes, I have to speak to it. But of course, in speaking to it, some aspects, once again, would have to be discussed. It's clear, game of chess within the camp of the NDC. Apparently, the presidency and majority had their own preferred candidates. Otherwise, a day or two to elections, the majority will not go and, all in the name of someone losing their husband, donate 100,000 cedi to someone to support the person.
But the person in reality had lost their husband.
Exactly. So you can hide behind.
The husband belonged
you
to
can
the
hide
caucus.
behind certain things to perpetuate your agenda sometimes. And the presidency had its own candidates who did not win the elections. So the presidency is not happy.
What does the presidency stand to gain in sponsoring a preferred
They are
candidate?
gearing up. People were having Saturday match up and walkings and joggings every morning, and others are doing thank you
Keep fit. We need
keep
to
fit.
stay
Yeah,
healthy.
people were keeping fit, and we saw all those things. And people are also doing thank you to. What do we have eyes to see? We have eyes to see. So Asiedu's camp, General Mosquito's camp, had won, and the presidency was not happy. Otherwise, you wouldn't recall someone who was never going to return to his post and leave out another person who has equally been indicted in such act to serve on 3 public boards. It really beats any imagination.
Very well.
But clearly, it's NDC's issue, and I believe my brother would have enough time. If any time of my allotted time is left, let's give it to my brother. At least it is home. So
you are ceding the rest of your time.
Yeah,
to
yes,
Hamza.
it's
Very
really
well.
not MPP's issues.
That is a welcoming gesture, Nana, in the sense that I would undoubtedly need that time to most the inconsistencies first in my brother's submission this morning and the principled position of the National Democratic Congress as far as this matter is concerned. And most importantly, I think that I also need that time to emphasize the importance of the allegations of vote buying, not just within the politics of the NDC, but to the nation as a whole.
True.
And the need for us to not to approach it with mischief-laced commentary, but rather seek advantage of that opportunity, not just to score political points, but to emphasize that as responsible political actors, the time has come for us to rally around the flag in an effort to nip that unfortunate canker in the bud. I listened to my brother, and quite clearly, on one breath, the NDC did pentinamento. On another breath, they even have no jurisdiction or legal authority to even have proceeded to annul the results. So what at all does he want? And that is why, if he had taken the nationalistic viewpoint, we would have been making meaningful progress, regardless of our partisan affiliations. And for me, I think that that is the crux of this matter. Why? When the allegations were made, the National Democratic Congress, first and foremost, proceeded to issue a statement. And it's important for you to read that statement. They said that they had taken notice of the allegations of vote buying in the Ayawaso East elections, and that as a political party, they condemn such occurrence if indeed there's something to that effect. And they have proceeded to set up a 3-member committee to look into the matter. Was that not a statement?
Indeed, that was.
At no point did that initial statement coming from party signal an annulment of the elections on that day. Because the party itself appreciated the legal difficulties that what that could have posed. Any annulment could have posed, not just to the party, but also to the individual rights of the participants. That was one. Secondly, after the issuance of that particular statement, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama directed that the Honorable Baba Jamal be recalled. And I've heard so many people make calls to the effect that, including the MPP, but some of them were board members, they should be recalled at the time that statement came. The presidency's statement was hinged on the open admission that your media network circulated in relation to Baba Jamal, who sought to create the impression that this is something he's been doing for a while, and that even if there is something to that effect, there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. So the president was justified on the basis of that public admission of the Honorable Baba Jamal to have issued that statement recalling him from Nigeria. If the presidency had any form of disdain against Baba Jamal, I'm sure that Baba would have been recalled at the time he filed
to contest.
But the presidency didn't. The presidency also could have waited for him to be elected, after which they will now recall him and appoint another person. But the nature of the statement should tell anybody monitoring that indeed the presidency took that decision on the basis of that interview the Honorable Baba Jamal held with your TV station, ChannelOne. The other 3 or 4 aspirants who are also alleged to have been engaged in it, there's no video evidence or admissibility on their part where they have admitted that indeed we have done A, B, and C. So even if they are appointees, at that material moment, it didn't justify any presidential directive on the basis of assumptions for these people to also be removed from their boards. The party has now proceeded to do its own investigations. And the General Secretary yesterday announced that aside Baba Jamal, they have found evidence of impropriety on the part of about 4 or 5 of them. So now there's evidentiary basis for the presidency to act again. So the General Secretary proceeded on the basis of that evidence to call on His Excellency President Mahama and the government to also take that into account, considering the fact that it was not only Baba Jamal who was caught in that web of impropriety. Are you following the discourse?
Yeah.
So now the presidency would now have a report based on which either to decide to recall the appointments of all the other 5 or not.
Right.
So let us wait. So it was not selective. The president did not engage, presidency did not engage in any selectivity in the case of the recall of Baba Jamal. Because there was video evidence of Baba Jamal's acceptance or justification, I should say, of the allegations. So the president was duty bound to act in line with his oath. And most importantly, the code of ethics for appointees. So now that the investigations are over, they have found out that it was not only the Honorable Baba Jamal, others were also involved, and their appointees. And the General Secretary has directed, or in fact has made an appeal to the presidency to act in relation to those names. Let us wait and see what the president will do in relation to the other appointees. That's one. So that issue has been settled. Now to the majority statement. The majority, like any other citizen of this country, was entitled to express an opinion on the matter, especially after the party's statement and that of the president's directive against Baba Jamal, his recall. Now, many of us on many media platforms were calling for either the annulment of the resource or punishment to be meted out to those found culpable. These were the calls.
Yeah.
The majority is no exception. They also issued a statement adding their voice to the debate that, look, the election results be annulled. But now, so let us treat the majority's position as a principled position. The party may have disagreed with it. The government may have disagreed with it. Seated here as a communicator of the party, I probably would have had my concerns with that statement. But it was within their right to also make their views known to the party. And that expression of view did not carry any force beyond simply expressing an opinion that from where we sit, this is what should be done.
Even after the party had said it was going to investigate.
Yes, but nothing to that. Even when the party announced that, when the party announced that it was going to investigate, people still called on the committee to ensure that they annulled the results openly, publicly. Media men, journalists were calling for the results to be annulled.
But the majority caucus...
It doesn't matter, you see, and that is why we should even commend the NDC. That tells you the level of dissent in the party. And they should be commended, regardless of the outcome of the investigations. So they made calls. So it gives you an indication that the presidency was willing to act. Our majority caucus was willing to take advantage of this situation to act. The party itself was willing to act. Commendable. Never have we ever experienced this since 1992 when it comes to vote buying. So the sincerity was there. But as a political party that is concerned about public rights and individual rights, we had gotten to a stage where the question he posed confronted the committee. One, as a political party, do we have it in our constitution that we have the right to annul election results conducted by the Electoral Commission? These were the questions the committee asked itself. And if you look at our constitution, there's no prescribed rule as to how to cancel election results. So that's one.
But the party knew this before instituting the committee.
That is why the party said that the party never said in the institution of the committee that it will cancel results. It said that the committee will make recommendations. Listen. The committee will make recommendations. Was that not the case? That's what the party statement said. Now, people called for annulment of results, including the majority. It is only proper that the committee takes all these sheets of opinion. The committee comes to the conclusion that even if we recommend annulment of the results, there will still be a legal tussle. Because as to whether or not we have the legal authority to annul the results is another matter. So there was a deadlock. Secondly, another important factor that people take for granted also had to do with the fact that it was not only Baba Jamal who was accused. So you are now dealing with party as an institution against the individual rights of the aspirants. Let us proceed on the assumption that it was Baba Jamal had lost the election and another had won. And Baba was seen on air, live TV, justifying the giving of this thing, and the party wanted to proceed. Would it have been fair for the party to have proceeded on the basis of the admission of Baba Jamal, the Honorable, that what is wrong with this, and proceed to cancel results that favored another candidate who did not engage in that? So these were all critical questions.
The party said it was investigating the allegations, not Baba Jamal.
No, but the allegations was about voter buying. So I'm saying that let us proceed on the assumption that other candidates were distributing stuff, and the one who won didn't. You proceed to annul the results on the basis of your investigations. How would that be fair to the individual rights of the person who won?
But the investigations would have shown that the one who won did not.
It doesn't matter, but the elections would have been tainted.
Yes, but the one who won did
when
not
the
engage
party
in
proceeded to investigate or set up a committee to investigate, it did not proceed on the assumption that Baba Jamal was the one given gifts. Was that what the party told?
No.
Absolutely not. So why are you limiting it to Baba Jamal?
I'm not. I'm
just telling you that the party proceeded on the basis that there were issues or irregularities associated with the process.
True.
They were investigating. So the investigation could have gone anyway. And I'm saying that people were calling for annulment. Let us proceed on the assumption that it was found out that Baba Jamal did not do anything. Other candidates rather did something.
Right.
So we proceed to annul an election Baba Jamal had done.
But if he's found out not to have done anything, then that's it. He's won.
The party was not investigating individuals. They were investigating the process of vote buying. And that's the mistake you are making. The party in this statement did not say that Baba Jamal engaged in vote buying or Hajia engaged in vote buying.
It says it is investigating the entire process. And based on the assumption you are making, if the one who won is found out not to have engaged in any of these acts, then the person has won. Others did, but they lost.
No. So you see, that's the mistake you are making. It's about the integrity of the process. It's about if the election is tainted, it is tainted. It's about the integrity of the process. So if you penalize the person who has won fairly on the basis of the fact that others gave gifts, you'll be treated as being unfair to that person.
Right.
Is that not the case?
That is.
And that's why I'm asking. So juxtapose that against a situation where Baba Jamal had contested, didn't engage in any acts of irregularities, won the elections, and other 4 aspirants were engaged in that. The party would have been minded to still, because the principle is voter buying, a principal position against vote buying. So the party would have still been minded to say that, look, because 4 or 5 people engage in this and tarnish the image of the election, we need to show to the Ghanaian people that we don't entertain this, so we have to rerun the election again. That would have been the outcome. So it's not about, and the person involved would have suffered, unfortunately, though he didn't engage in any form of voter buying or vote buying.
A judge ordered a rerun of an entire constituency based on the outcome of 41 polling stations.
And we justified it. Are you getting the point?
Isn't this similar?
It is similar, but I'm telling you that we justified on the basis of what? Why did we justify it? Why do you think we justified it and defended that decision at the High Court? Because it was about the integrity of the process. So you may have innocent players, but the integrity of the process demands that you annul it.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage. And I'm telling you that. So the party took all that into consideration.
Very well. One question.
No, but
the committee recommended the annulment, but the party said it was unable to.
No. You see, you need to contextualize the discussions, my brother. Truly,
that's what the GS said.
Yes,
that's what your general
please,
secretary said.
Please.
That the investigative
committee said that. The report is there. The investigative committee said that based on the evidence available to them, they would proceed to recommend annulment, but also proceeded to say, however, their recommendation is annulment, but however, these are the difficulties in annulling the election results that the party has to consider, and forwarded same to the party.
Very well.
So if you say they recommended annulment of the results without proceeding to also point out the technical difficulties that made annulment impossible, you are presenting only a partial aspect of the report. But you see, Kojo, for me, it is not about NDC or NPP in this matter. The technical difficulties the committee, and that's why I said that I wanted us to approach it with that nationalistic view.
Very well, very well.
The technical difficulties associated with the whole process has come out. One, there's a discussion as to whether or not even vote buy within political party, intra-political party activities constitute a crime. I am listening to so many people who argue that it is not a crime. Others say it is a crime. Others say there's no direct law in our country that regulates that activity. It's a moral responsibility. And we have to consider going the extra mile of legislating to ensure that we criminalize something like that. Two, there's also an important factor of going forward, whether we should be calling on all political parties to now have as part of their constitutions or election regulations a process of annulling results that are tainted, that way we don't even have to wait for the court, for somebody to take it to the court to annul. We must begin to have this discussion, especially when it comes to vote buy. I'm interested in that discussion. We need to know. And the sanctions that must follow. So if you are caught engaged in vote buy and you are suspended or you are taken away from the contest, must it end there? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so these are issues I think that we should have, because the NDC obviously, with every form, with every iota of sincerity, we tried.
Very well.
But these were the bottlenecks on our way. These were the bottlenecks.
I intentionally gave you this much time because this is from your home.
And if you mind you, another issue, another technical challenge was, the assumption was that even if Baba Jamal was engaged in vote buying, are you following? Even if Baba Jamal was engaged in vote buying, the president's letter was enough sanction of recall. So a subsequent punishment would have been too much. That was another view expressed.
Even if Baba becomes MP, definitely he will be recalled. If he becomes MP, definitely he will be recalled. So that's not.
You can't be sure.
He will serve as MP and High Commissioner.
Where in the laws of our country is that being frowned upon?
I'm not aware. As for this one, it's not.
I'm not aware. I'm just asking you.
As for this one, it's not a punishment.
I'm just asking.
We won't accept it. We the people, we won't accept it.
Before senior comes in, before senior comes in,
I will have the right to respond, right?
Oh no problem. We can spend the whole day discussing this. Clearly, my brother sought to do what he needed to do for his government and party. But what?
Then I will come in before you.
What is
clear from senior?
What is clear is what I had to say. Right, that the whole thing was laced to paint the party in a certain way. With all that my brother has said, clearly they knew the end from the start. So all those letters and gymnastics were much ado about nothing.
The man has given a detailed explanation.
They knew the end from the start. And he sought to tell the public to commend the party, commend presidency.
For taking action.
He says that mission of Baba Jamal on your social media channel. We are in the era of AI. Countless times, media houses have posted something on their online platforms. And I would have an opportunity to come back later to issue a disclaimer or to apologize to the public for misleading them with such posts. Even though it was right there on their verified media channels on social media or online. And Bada is trying to tell us that the presidency watched the video from your online channel and made a decision for the whole country and government. And that's very critical.
But that video was on traditional TV as well.
Bro, we are in the era of traditional media and AI.
Indeed.
So the video was
the president, I'm saying that it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. No, I'm not saying it's fake. What I'm trying to say is that we are saying that the presidency can sit
just
in the
that
Jubilee House.
Not enough.
Relax. I'll draw the the presidency sits at the Jubilee House, watch online channels,
Doctor,
and people post something,
He says Channel One
and
is fake.
every day.
No, that's not what he's saying.
That's why he said it's on your
That's not what he's saying.
So it's social media.
I'm saying that
That's what
on countless occasions.
He's saying that,
Is the
that
video-
just
was
that
the
video is
media
not enough.
houses,
That video is as real as you saw it.
media houses post content, and they have to come back later to issue a disclaimer or apologize to the public
Very well
for
done.
misleading them.
So Channel One did that.
If
So
in
Channel
any
One
case,
did
that.
in any
No, we did
case,
not do that.
if it's
How
anything
can
to
you
go
attack
by,
the integrity
oh,
of
let me
Channel One
finish.
like
Let me
He's
finish.
not. Hamza, he's not.
On
Don't do
this
this.
show, I've been
He's
my
not.
brother can do what I
He's
don't have a
not.
problem. I don't have a problem.
Hamza, he's not
You all know
attacking
that's what
Channel
I'm
One.
saying.
Don't do that.
If there's anything to go
He's
by,
attacking the
if there's anything to go by,
integrity of your-
if there's anything to go by,
your
there is an online news item attributed to another candidate, admitting that I gave something, but it was to facilitate people's movement. Did that amount to inducing delegates? Did the presidency see that online news item as well? Did they act on it? It was clearly selective.
Very well done.
You are basing someone's recall as an ambassador based on an online news item. Yet, as an online news item attributed to another candidate, and you are telling us that you didn't see that.
Very well.
Can I-
Very
can
well.
I-
Very
Come
well.
on.
Let's hear from engineer.
Come
Let's hear
on.
from
It's only fair.
Come
He was
on.
not supposed to come. You allowed him to come.
2 minutes.
So
I'm
you-
Two
supposed
minutes.
to come.
I'll give you ample time. I'll give you ample time.
Yeah.
Hamza, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's be brief on this.
Okay, I'll let the engineer come. I'll respond to it. With the greatest of respect. I will let him come in.
So quickly, I disagree with my colleague Hamza here. You see, political parties don't have to write that we can annul elections in their constitution.
Constitutions.
Political parties have a wide sweeping these things in there that says you are subject to discipline if you disgrace the political or bring the name of the political party into disrepute, do all manner of things. The question to ask here is that is the conduct of the candidates bringing the name of the party into disrepute. Based on that, the party can act.
But if you take such an action based on that, aren't you opening yourself up to lawsuits?
No. You see, listen, we are in a country where corruption is a major problem for us. You have a party that has super majority in power in parliament. They have all the authorities at their disposal. And there are ways, like I said, look, all you have to do is call on any of those clauses and say they have brought the name of the party into disrepute. We are punishing all of them. The party is not even going. You see, the party can decide we are not going to contest the election. Yes, because they have organs within the party who decide whether we will contest an election or not. It's not the candidates who decide. It's the political party. You will say that you cannot contest on our ticket. End of story.
We saw some in Ablekuma North. MPP said they won't contest, but the candidates went ahead.
Yeah, but did the candidate contest on the party's ticket?
Yes.
Then the party itself has not been principled. Because to submit to the EC, the party must approve. So you cannot contest on a party's ticket when the party doesn't approve you. So for me, it's an excuse simply to say that, oh, it's not in our constitution. That it is neither here nor there. Have they brought the party into disrepute? Are they saying that they sanction all the things that the candidates did? No. If they don't, they can say simply by that clause, we are not going to even contest the election, or none of you is going to contest the election on our ticket, or we are not even going to contest the election. So for me, we can't make excuses for political parties not acting properly. It is wrong. We must take the NDC on that. It is wrong.
They had all the avenues.
They have all the avenues.
Okay, so
Hamza, you know what? If you start now, my break time will elapse. So let me take a quick break and then I come back to you so that you respond to these issues. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television. We're having the news review segment. I'll take a few of your messages and go to Hamza for closing remarks on this Ayawaso East matter. The role of money in our politics has become a persistent issue in our democracy. To address this, we need to shift the narrative. The OSP's investigation seems superficial and unlikely to bring lasting change. It's time to tackle the problem head on. Amino from Ensawam sent that. Good morning, I am Eben from Kwabinya. Applause to the committee in probing the alleged inducement of the NDC primaries, but henceforth, I think the party should amend its constitution to be able to deal with such inducement. Regards to Honorable MC Agbo of Ghana East, and he's given a lot of shout-outs. Good morning, Nana. It appears the NDC and the entire government is playing with Ghanaians in a pretentious, holier-than-thou group of people. Didn't the three-member committee and the majority in parliament know those candidates who gave out monies, items, and transportation to delegates? Why is Baba Jamal alone being subjected to investigation? No, it was the entire process that was investigated, not just Baba Jamal. This call should start from the presidency through parliament, judiciary candidates, delegates, and the media as well. Kwajo Mafo from Kwewu Jamase sent that. Good morning to you, Nana. I love your nice video. Oh, thank you. I think you'll be seeing more of that. We'll be wearing more fugu going forward. It's unfortunate that the issue of vote buying has been institutionalized in our politics. There are enough laws to deal with some of these things. And what we need now is an attitudinal change on the part of delegates, especially young ones. It is disheartening to will our leadership positions to the highest bidders in society, regardless of the competencies of those people. And he says a happy birthday to Lamteg Apanga Esquire. Oh, Council, happy birthday to you. We didn't know. He was happy birthday to you. We wish you all the best. This is Samson in Nabdam sending this one in. Tell the member of the MPP that the president has an overwhelming majority in parliament already, and so the outcome of Ayawaso East won't do him anything. This is from Aram. Okay. Hamza.
Yes.
Let's wrap it up with this matter and then we'll move on.
Again, I listened to my brother and I was wondering whether he listens to my presentation with rapt attention. I proceeded on the basis of conditionalities. I said, in the case of Baba Jamal and the president's recall, the presidency probably took that decision on the basis of the video you guys circulated on your platform. I was emphatic.
Probably.
Yes.
That's fair.
I was emphatic.
But probably is not emphatic.
But that's why I'm saying that I was emphatic with what I was saying. Probability.
Well.
You understand? And that the presidency could have been justified to take that decision on the basis of that video. Because in any case, it was not proven to be false or AI generated.
It's an actual video.
And mind you, we are talking about the presidency of the Republic of Ghana. And there will be absolutely nothing wrong if the presidency takes a decision on the basis of that video. They would have done their internal checks. They would have gone onto the grounds to ascertain the veracity or otherwise of that video.
Yeah.
It is not for cosmetics purposes that we have the minister responsible for government communications now at the seat of the presidency. So that decision wouldn't have been taken lightly. You may be pardoned to sit in your chair and be basking in the assumptions that it may be AI generated, and for the presidency to take a decision on the basis of that would be disastrous, blah, 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 blah. These are your frustrations and assumptions. But it doesn't mean that the presidency cannot take a decision on the basis of that video. Because what is available to them to carry out your investigations may not be available to you as an individual.
Right.
And that point needs to be made. So you can be pardoned for attacking the integrity of ChannelOne on the basis of proceeding to question their work, because we also
he didn't question our work. He questioned the presidency's decision to base
your management will not be happy with it.
No, he didn't question our work.
Anyway, that's just by the way, because I know the kind of work you guys put into your operations. And so for me, even when I see a video on your social media platform, my first inclination is to believe it, because I know you. And I'm surprised that my brother...
We are very diligent with what
absolutely, I know. And that is why I always come here. Now, having said that, I listened to my brother also make the point that indeed the NDC has what it takes to
annul the election,
to annul the results, and that we just needed to look into the matters of bringing your party into disrepute. That is not in contention. But then again, I think that my initial arguments were lost. All over the world, the issue of annulling results is a very sensitive matter, because you are dealing with rights of not just the participants, you are dealing with rights of even the delegates or electorates. And so you must be guided. Remember, in 2012, when even the NPP took the election to court, what did the Supreme Court say? In relation to pink sheets that were not signed by presiding officers. The Supreme Court resisted the temptation to declare those pink sheets even as defective because of the mere absence of a presiding officer's signature. Because when it comes to people's mandate, you must go through an elaborate process before you annul the results. So regardless of the position of the NDC, the NDC is duty bound by the principles established both in the 2012 election petition and the 2020 election petition that the NDC and President Mahama also presented. And the reluctance of the Supreme Court to go on that tangent, because it is not just the rights of the parties or candidates that would be affected. It will also be the rights of the delegates or electors that will be affected. And so the NDC was confronted with this unfortunate reality in the Ayawaso East matter. So it was not just a matter of annulling results. It was also about positive rights of people, the delegates, and the candidates themselves.
Very well.
And if our Supreme Court is quite cautious in treading such grounds, it is only proper that we mirror the principles of the. I'm coming, please. That we mirror the principles of our Supreme Court.
I actually have a question for you.
But then again, let me.
We'll move on.
Let me learn. That's how it was when you were speaking. But then again, you see, I agree with my brother. Just like him, I know a dozen supporters of the NDC who feel strongly about this matter and feel that it should have been annulled. And I respect their opinions. There are those who also feel that no, nullification would have been too much. I respect those views too. But you see, we can decide to ridicule the NDC or the government as much as we want. But one thing is clear. What we are seeing today, the disdain that the majority communicated by their statement, the abhorrence that the General Secretary indicated with his statement announcing the establishment of the committee, and the President's letter of recall cannot just be, those statements couldn't have just been a mere coincidence. It tells you of the willingness, at least there's that willingness and desire on the part of the ruling government to confront the matter. We never had this in the last 8 years.
Hamza, if there is, as you put it, if there is, as
so we have brought the matter up for discussion.
If there is, as you put it, where are the sanctions to serve as a deterrent going forward?
But I've just given you an example of a sanction,
which is
the recall.
I do not agree to.
So you may not agree, and the General Secretary has also proceeded. The General Secretary has also proceeded to call on the presidency to recall others who are serving on what?
Direct sanctions to serve as
a deterrent.
Direct sanctions. You have to give us time.
Are they not direct sanctions?
Direct sanctions.
Okay, which law under our laws would you take them to court for?
No, you have to give us time.
Give me an example.
Internal party regulations.
But why do you think that they are calling for them to record on the boards?
Now let me just make a little comment.
No, I'm also asking you a direct question. What do you experience? Did you ever
exactly what you're trying to say? You give us
has
time.
its own internal
you are not answering my question.
We
may not have been able to satisfy your expectations as citizens.
Based on all that you put together.
Yes, we may not have been, but you have seen you saw some steps taken, no matter how unfulfilling those steps are. Did you ever see that in the last 8 years?
No.
Of Danad? Absolutely.
Granted. But you say you're making
I'm not saying that
you say
the
you are
NDC is perfect. I'm not saying that the NDC is perfect in the way
the NDC is resetting.
But at least the NDC has made a step.
Very well.
The step may not be fulfilling or exciting, but we have made a step, and we have brought the matter to the center for discussion.
Just a quick one. I'm not asking that the NDC annul the election. You see, that's why political parties have ways of dealing with issues.
True.
All you have to say is that none of the parties is fit to contest in election on our ticket. End of story. You are not annulling elections.
Exactly.
So that is the power of the political parties.
But if you say that the effect of that would be
no, you see,
that's what it means.
No, let them. You see,
you've not officially communicated that you've annulled.
You haven't annulled.
You're saying that
you're not saying the election, the results are
guilty of this.
Because that is the evidence before you.
So what will be the effect of that?
Based on that crime, none of them is.
So who will go for the
party can decide not to contest. So that's nullification.
No, you haven't annulled the election.
That's nullification. The effect of that. No matter how you
simply fearing that somebody will take you to court will not make you act in itself shows incompetence. That is also another matter, because if the government is afraid that because if it acts in a manner, people will take it to court, then the government itself is not correct.
No, you don't.
Because simply fearing that the
government, this is not a government.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm extending it to government. I'm extending it to government.
Government has taken this party decision. With everything, the party grounded in law to refrain itself from acting the way you want them to act.
With everything my brother has said, it points to once again what we have maintained on this platform.
that the presidency's letter.
I will come back.
They are
This is
then we will go back.
I have the right.
The presidency's letter. I will take
no.
The
I will have the
presidency's
right
letter.
because
Now,
he spoke before me. I spoke.
You gave him the presidency's letter. You need to be fair.
So I will respond. I just need
the presidency's letter, the NDC's initial letter, the majority caucus's letter. Everything was a PR gimmick because you knew that in the process of calling for annulment or investigation or whatnot, people's rights should be respected. You knew the case at the Supreme Court.
You knew the time constraints.
You knew the time constraints. You knew everything. And he ended by saying that, oh, with the letters we put out, with what the NDC sought to do, with what majority sought to do, we didn't see all that and the Akufo-Addo. Ghana did not start with the Akufo-Addo. There was J.J. Rawlings to Kufuor, to Prof. Mills, to John Mahama 1, and now John Mahama 2. Ghana did not start with the Akufo-Addo. And putting those things out there and calling Ghanaians to say that all the letters we've seen, all the PR gimmicks we've seen, all the PR things gone wrong, all that we've done, which amounted to nothing in the end, you should praise us because we sought to do PR gimmicks. You could ascertain the veracity of the video ChannelOne put on their online platform, but you could not use the same machinery and effort to ascertain the veracity of the news item that was attributed to the other lady to give her sanctions. So yes, everyone is right to assume that beyond the PR gimmicks, you were going for particular candidates because the presidency and the majority caucus did not have that candidate.
We need to make progress.
And it was clearly a matter of internal wranglings and PR gimmicks the government and party wanted to play. Simplicity. And my brother has said it and summed everything up in the last statement.
Very well. Clearly, listening to my brother, it is clear that even he did not really read the first statement, the General Secretary of the party.
It's what we are saying here.
No, it's not what we are saying. Whatever we are saying here is grounded on these letters.
And you knew the law. You knew the processes.
Can you
were
respect
spoken
the
at the point when I was speaking.
No,
right.
it's okay.
So,
allow him to
you see, it is important to understand that it's clear that he has not read the letters. Because if you read the letters, there was nowhere.
You wrote those letters knowing the case is available. You wrote those letters.
Respect the view.
And in their case, let's have a conversation.
Respect the view.
Cause 90.
Clearly, you see, either you didn't read the letter or you had a problem of comprehension. The party had an opportunity.
Oh, Doc. Don't do this. Hamza, please.
It's normal with MPP. I'm used to that. So you know when they are irritated, that's how.
I'm never irritated on platform.
When he's he's lost his bearing. So he's
never irritated.
Now let me. Are you done? Then I don't.
I'm never irritated.
Are you done? Then I can talk.
Are you done?
Hamza, 2 minutes.
Now, you see, first of all,
now,
the letters, if you read the letter, it was clear. It was an investigation. The party did not anticipate a cancellation or annulment of resource, but it was an option that was available to the committee to exercise. That's one. So if one of the options available to the committee that the party instituted comes with a recommendation of nullification and proceeded to give reasons why it will be difficult, it is only fair that the party entertains those reasons. That's one. So for you to say that the party didn't they know about the Supreme Court position on those matters, blah, 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 so they were doing settings. So because, how could they have known the outcome of the investigations? The outcome of the investigations could have been that the people have done nothing wrong. Or ABCD has done nothing wrong. And it could have been this person misled the other aspirants and did ABCD. And the person probably would have been singled out and punished. That's one. Again, like I indicated, I think that it's important for me to respond more to engineer than even the MPP's position because they even lack the moral authority to have any commentary on this particular matter. And you see, I respect his view in the sense that he belongs to the class of people who feel that the NDC should have gone a notch higher on this matter. And engineer, I can assure you that in the past, when these things happened, whether under an NDC administration or under an MPP administration, we didn't see this kind of consensus in terms of declaration of abhorrence to such practices. For the first time, we have recorded it. No matter how baby steps these are, the NDC has signaled a willingness to make the step. So hopefully, what we would expect from this stage is your ability to encourage us to be able to take bolder steps in the future.
Very well.
And we are open to that as a political party. And so everybody listening to us everybody listening to us. This may be considered as baby steps.
It's 45.
But at least the NDC has demonstrated a commitment to taking those steps.
I gave you 2 minutes.
And we are
to come
sincere in our
reply.
efforts. It may not be
It's 2 minutes.
satisfying.
This is 2 minutes.
But next time, with the needed support, I'm sure we can do better.
Thank you. 12 million of us are food insecure.
More than that, actually.
More than that.
Read the statement well.
Very well. So you see, there's more pressing matter that we need to
And
do.
qualify it.
Unfortunately, we spend too much time.
The statement says has increased.
on
Not
Ayawaso
just
East.
12 million of
But
us. Food insecurity rises.
what are we missing? Targeted interventions? Because every day we are hearing of food gluts. And how come our people are hungry?
So for me, I think that I want to take the reports of the Ghana Statistical Service on its face value that there's increase in food insecurity.
Right.
I don't know how they define it fully, but my layman understanding is that it shows that a lot of people are uncertain about food, where they are going to get their daily meals. That's the message it gives me. So I want us to look at Ghana as a country and say, how have we managed food security as a whole? One, we have not been very good at land management because food is grown on land. Our land management system is terrible. So in order to genuinely solve our food problem, we need to confront that issue. But all of us are shying away from it. We think that, chiefs, individual families own land. No, we need to be sincere about it. This is one Ghana. How do we ensure that the water resources and the land can be used to ensure that everybody has food to eat? So we need to deal with that land management issue. And that is why when government acquires land and turns around and sells it again to his friends, doesn't sit well. Because we continue to create mistrust among the people we have taken the lands from. So I think that government needs to look at this in the long term and say, how do we deal with land management issues and water resources? We need to deal with that what people will say is the elephant in the room. We need to deal with it. Then we also need to stop politicizing issues of agriculture and food security. Once you talk about food and government procures tractors, then you see politicians, we are going to get the tractors. We will fertilizer, we will distribute it. Where has all the sloganeering brought us? Food for what?
Planting for
food and jobs. Nkukon Ketenkete has started. Another one will start. Let's be serious. Fisheries. Then we set up all manner of ministries. Under the previous government, we have about 3 different ministers or 4 ministers for agriculture. Where has that brought us? So we need to stop the slogans and deal with real policy issues so that we can address the agriculture issue. Look, the Volta Lake alone, if you look at Accra Plains, let's take Accra Plains down here. What's happening? We are seeing that people are now estate developers. We allow estate developers to acquire lands there and begin to build houses. When that could become a food bank in itself, each penstock, the one that discharges the water, to generate power, each penstock is 7.2 meters high, wide. That's the diameter of that. And if you look, and each one is over 100 meters long. Now, the amount of water that each penstock discharges and that goes into the sea is over 4,000 cubic meters every maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes at most. 4,000 cubic meters of water. Wow. That is enough to fill this whole place. And you can irrigate about 300 acres of land to grow corn with that.
Wow.
That's penstock alone. Wow. And this is daily going out. So we need to be decisive about these issues. Land management is at the core of this. So we cannot continue to run away from land management and families and chiefs. No, this is Ghana. Government acquires and government determines land use. And for me, that is why, even if you cannot acquire it, government should determine land use. End of story. Once you say it is for farming, it is for farming. Whether it belongs to a chief or a family, it doesn't change anything. It is for farming.
Very well. Thank you, Engineer. Doc, so the figure represents a 7.3% increase.
Exactly.
And it's rising.
And it clearly shows we've not done enough in the past year. It clearly shows. Right? And there are 2 legs you can take this argument. Is it because the purchasing power of the people have reduced, or we are not producing enough? Clearly, if there's abundance of food, prices will even drop.
It's a clear demand and supply principle.
Yeah.
It's either over the past 1 year, government once again has failed the people of Ghana, or there is food, but the accessibility of the food is a problem. And you can only access food if you are not doing sustenance farming to feed yourself. You have to go into your pocket and get money to go and buy those food substances. Governments put out data and macroeconomic indicators. And that's why we keep saying that. Those macroeconomic indicators are not reflecting people's pocket. You said there's food glut. And if we have over 7% increment over a year in food insecurity and there's food glut, then people can't even purchase those things. So where lies the economic indicators being churned at us and the realities on the ground? I'm sure if this data is taken today, it will further go high. You know why? Because farmers are not paid for the past 3 months. Cocoa farmers are not paid for the past 3 months. Where would they get money to go to the market to feed themselves? So this figure, I'm sure it was something that was done probably last quarter of last year. And if the state institution should go back and do the same analysis today, I'm confident that the figures will even skyrocket. Because yes, majority of people in this country are farmers from social studies. And move to the forest zones, Eastern, Ashanti, and the rest. Majority are cocoa farmers. Yet, a government that promised cocoa farmers 7,000 cedi per bag cannot pay 3,600 cedis for the past 3 months. If these things are happening, where would people get money, have the purchasing power to go to the market and get the food to eat? You have nurses who have worked for almost a year, 100 cedi dressing allowance. Government says, I can't pay you. Where would they get the money to go to the market to feed themselves? You have teachers who have to go on the street to demonstrate. And government says, I won't pay you. Give them promises that by January you receive your arrears and your allowances, yet nothing happens. Those are the effects. If you don't have the money and you go to the market, the things will be rotten. It will fall, but you can't purchase.
Right.
As for the food, the farmers are doing well. Just as the cocoa, they are doing well. They are going through the mill. They are producing. They are planting. They are planting to feed us. In fact, when I went back to my village about 2 weeks ago, a whole bunch of plantain, very cheap. So the farmers are doing their best. Yes, we can speak to what engineer spoke about, looking at the critical issues, the administrative aspects of farming, and what leadership and institutions of the state need to do to make lives easier for anyone to go into agriculture. However, in the end, Nana, if you produce the food item and I can't buy it, I won't have access to food. I won't be able to secure myself nutrition-wise. So I'm not surprised. Let's go back to seeing and dealing with these issues. People who are working, people who have worked, people who have toiled, but the government that promised heaven and earth, failing to deliver their own promises wantonly.
Very well.
Cocoa farmers, teachers, nurses are wailing. And I'm sure today,
let me go
if
to
you
Hamza.
go back to do those statistics, the numbers will even skyrocket.
Very well. Thank you. Hamza, food prices, climate change variabilities, agri supply demand chain, economic pressures.
It has increased by what percentage?
7.3.
7.3.
The second quarter.
From the second quarter. Nana, you see, anytime we are talking about food, those who follow my political discourse will tell you of my principled position to attempt to move away from the usual politics when it comes to food security. First and foremost, because I come from a farming community, that more or less shaped my upbringing. And so when it comes to the farmers, I am more or less committed to what they demand from any government at all. Secondly, I have lived poverty. I know what it means to be poor. I still remember the environment in which I grew up. And today, if you look at me, I may not look like that environment, but that environment shaped me. So I know poverty. And I know what it means to even be able to get 3 square meals a day because of where I'm coming from. And so it is disheartening that we are at this stage where food insecurity is becoming a major concern. And as a responsible government, I know that those statistics is already beginning to shape policy at the national level, especially at the Minister of Agri.
Right.
Under the Honorable, what's his name?
Minister of Agri?
Yes. You see, Dumelo and his boss.
Yeah.
It is quite clear that many of the challenges we inherited from the last regime can deal with exhaustively in a matter of 1 year, 2 months. It's not possible. Even the NDC will not look in the eyes of Ghanaians and deceive them that all the policy effects, bad choices that the erstwhile administration took would be dealt with in a matter of a year. We can't do that, and we've been very clear. That point needs to be made. Go back to 2024. That same food security, average 40% of the population was deemed to have suffered or were below the threshold in terms of food security. About 7.3% increment again. That's why I asked. That was the time they were in power. Fast forward 2025. We have dealt with a government which had the responsibility of, first of all, cleaning the economic mess. And people are forgetting. You see, the effect of these bad economic choices would be with us for more than a year or 2. We are underrating the havoc the S1 administration subjected us to. We are at a stage where even government of Ghana cannot, even if it wants to borrow from the international market, would have a difficulty borrowing to be able to deal with these issues of food insecurity.
Right.
Because of the economic mess that was inherited. And so if government said the whole of last year that it was trying to get our economic fundamentals right, and now begin to look at the areas we need to invest in, many of these things explains it. And when he talks about fundamentals, from 92, he should go and look at the politics of the NDC. We've been very cautious when it comes to these issues of figures. That is the stock in trade of the NPP. That is why even when inflation started coming down, exchange rate becoming improving, the NDC continues to say that that is not the whole picture. At the point we would celebrate and organize Kenke parties would be a point where we are sure that it is actually reflecting in the pockets of the average Ghanaian. And that's why this government is quite measured. So, unlike them, the assurance to the good people of this country, especially our farmers, is that, look, the whole of last year, we use it to get our economic fundamentals right. We will do what is necessary to ensure that we invest in the areas. And that is why if you look at the 2026 budget, the agriculture sector is taking a chunk. Because we anticipated that because of the years of failure,
so you are working to reverse it.
We are working to reverse it.
Thank you, Hamza. Thank you, Doc. We'll find time to do this again. This has been the news review segment on Breakfast Daily. I am Nana Tifo Wati.